Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? Welcome back to the Nats Baseball Review. I am David Knight. I'm your host. Been a little while since we've done something. Again, the off season hasn't been a whole lot of national news going on, but there has been some changes to discuss, and we're going to get caught up on it right now in this video with me. He was not here for the last video, but he's back here. Fellow Nats fan and my good friend Jason Renfro. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, David. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. As always, good to have you on. Not many Nationals fans outside of DC right now, and we kind of got it together. It's been a rough few years, but looks like there's definitely some changes going on. So
Yeah, the fans will be back when the winning comes. They're just all hiding.
right, yeah,
Mhm.
and again, before like we said before, I mean, you kind of it's hard to get motivated sometimes. When you see if the organization do what they do. Um, but they have made some changes to the dugout. And we're a little late getting this. Again, I've had some personal stuff going on, so I apologize to the viewers. I just haven't been able to stay on top of it like I usually would have. But luckily, there's nothing much going on for Nationals right now, so it's easy to get caught up, right? So, first of all, let's start with the new dugout. Paul Taboni, of course, is the new head of baseball operations. I think Paul DiTolo was going to be standing, the Batarlo rather, was going to be staying on as the assistant general manager. They will not have a GM for the upcoming season. So that's going to be something, a little different for us. But it's a big change in the dugout. Our new manager for the upcoming season, not only is Taboni the youngest head executive in all of baseball, we now have the youngest manager in all of baseball, and that's Blake Batera, who was hired on October 31st. He was a manager of, he worked in the Rays organization for several seasons, last two as the Rays senior director of player development. He's been a minor league manager, been in the team for a variety of years, got into coaching early on when he realized he was going to make it as a big leaguer. And very interesting move. I think it's a little different than the way we usually would go. Jason, what are your thoughts on this hiring?
Well, he comes from an excellent organization. I mean, the Rays are known for development, and that's basically. I guess that's the focus the team has to make because we're with the learner spending habits. We're not going to be a big major spender,
No,
so it's going to be about development.
yeah, exactly. And we'll talk about the development part a little later with some rumors going around. So, because that gives me a little frustration. But he, of course, will be the new manager. I think it's good to have a young guy in there. We haven't really gone the younger route. We've gone like with older guys, veterans, and we've had mixed success with that. But again, we did good with Matt Williams. We did good with Dusty Baker, but those were much better overall teams. And the
Mhm.
division was very different than it is now.
Yes.
So I think this requires a new look for us. We can't go the old route. We have to do something different. And I do like this idea. It's definitely a step in a different direction, which we totally need. So I'm willing to give the guy a shot, and
Yeah.
see what he can do. And I hope, unlike the other managers we've had in the past, he lets the young guys actually play.
Yes. Too many Dusty was bad about it and Davey was bad about it, giving guys at bats just for the sake of giving them at bats.
Yeah, exactly. A little too, and Dusty's a Hall of Fame manager, no doubt, but I think he was a little too loyal to the veterans at times, and you gotta
Yes.
let the young guys play, and
When
especially
the
the
veterans are
veterans.
doing good, it's a good thing. But
Right? Exactly, exactly. He just went with the status quo a lot of time, and with like with certain players, you have to you gotta play. Especially with as bad as their offense was last year, like the worst offensive baseball last year. If we had a hot bat, we need to let that guy play. We had to. That would be the
yes,
basic thing to do. But that didn't always happen. So,
no. And
um,
if you got a prospect, that you're counting on for the future development of your club, he needs to be getting at bats, not sitting on the bench. So if you're not going to play him regularly in the majors, he should be in the minors
mm-hmm,
getting at
exactly.
bats.
That's right. You get in the groove, get in development. Totally agree. Again, Blake is kind of unproven as a big level manager. I think he was a minor league skipper for a number of years, so he does have that experience on his belt. And we got a lot of young guys, so that might be something. And he's younger, so maybe they can look at that a little better.
Mhm.
We shall see. A few other moves to the coaching staff that has been announced. Michael Johns will be the new bench coach. He was the first base coach for the Rays this past season, but he's been with the Rays for over 2 decades. And again, that Rays culture, he's trying to bring that to the team. And I think it's a good pick by Matera to get a guy with such a good length of experience. I think that's a very smart move to off for a new manager to give him that dugout experience. I like that move.
Yes, likewise. You got that the wisdom, someone that's been there, done that, hey, this is what I think you should do.
Exactly right. Totally agree. And and again, it's a good balance. And I think he's going to be a good fit in that bench coach role. Interesting pick for our pitching coach. I mean, this is a guy, and it's just a pretty interesting story, actually. He was the assistant pitching coach for the Reds this past season after working through the minors since 2021 as an assistant and other variety of roles. Simon Matthews will be our new pitching coach. And an interesting story about him, he actually left baseball after he struggled as a pitcher. He didn't do so well. He ended up working for companies like Push Performance in driveline baseball. So he has that outside baseball experience. Where became a part of the Reds pitching staff, pitching coach staff last year. And again, our pitching, I think we do have some bright spots with our pitching. That's one of the few bright spots this team does have. Um, what do you think about this hiring and this new look? Your thoughts on that?
Well, he's kind of, not much experience,
Mm-hmm.
but you kind of got to go with your gut. I mean, you never know what a guy can do till he does it. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the Reds were contending for a
yes,
big part of this
yes,
past season. They actually made the playoffs, right? I think they were knocked out in the first round, but they made the
yes.
playoffs in a very tough division. Their pitching staff was a big part of that. So I could definitely see that. We got
Now
Josiah
they,
Drake. Go ahead.
I was going to say they have some good young pitchers over there too. So
Mm-hmm.
if he could help our young pitchers, take that next step, cut down on the walks,
Mm-hmm.
the
Exactly.
the long pitch, the high pitch counts.
Yeah, and Josiah Drake's coming back from Tommy John this year. Hopefully he'll be recovered and good to go. Maybe he needs a new look. And we got Brad Lord, that guy that we signed, who worked at Home Depot or something the year before, and he ended up having a pretty good overall season after a slow start.
Yes.
So, um, you know, I think there's something there, and maybe that dynamic will be interesting. And one small signing, a couple of small ones I want to address real briefly here. We have hired Bobby Wilson as our major league catching coordinator. He had the same job with the Rangers recently. They say he was a big part in Jonah Heim's Gold Glove development behind the plate. Um, and we need some help with catch development, obviously. Absolutely need that from all perspectives. And excuse me, and I'm hoping that maybe he could give us something to work with there because catching we have many problems, many question marks to address in this team, but catcher has been one of those big sores for a number of years.
Yes. Long for the days of Wilson Ramos.
Oh, I know, right? um, but
Keibert Ruiz was supposed to be the guy.
yeah, he was, and I remember us talking about many times with that Scherzer, Trey Turner, Trey Light, just Light getting Ruiz because Ruiz is blocked by Will Smith in L.A. He wasn't going to go anywhere there, right?
Yeah.
Um, and he has moments, but he hasn't
Hmm.
quite been consistent, and I think we need that. And of course, we obviously probably need to go out and get a catcher, somebody who can fill that void, but yeah, I think hey, maybe you could help develop the guys in the minors and nothing else, and help
Yes.
get them going. Um, Interesting. A couple of quick hits. Looks like Sean Doolittle, former closer for us, of course, part of the 19 World Series team. He is coming back in some undisclosed role that has been addressed. Excuse me. And I like that. He's a good clubhouse president. I don't know if he'll be a bullpen coach as a pitcher coach. We don't know that yet, but he's going to come back. And I'm hoping there's a spot for Matt LaCroix somewhere. I really do. I just
Yes.
haven't heard much about that, but
Yeah. I'm a big Matt LaCroix fan.
right. Yeah, you definitely are, and he's very loyal to the organization. So I think
Yes.
he needs to get rewarded for that at some point. Give him a first base coach job, third base, something. Get him on the
I
staff.
I still got to bring up the moment, the Frank Robinson crying
Ah,
on that
that
bad
was
game LaCroix had it behind the plate.
that was not right.
But
Was not right.
no, but Frank Robinson was a stand-up guy.
Yeah, yeah, Frank Ramos. Sorry. um, oh man. So yeah, that's a general overview of the new dugout. Again, new culture. I think we just need a change, and we need
Yes.
to get away from Davey and Rizzo. No, this next bit of news concerns me because it makes me think that our new executive is going to be stuck in the same situation that his predecessor was, and that will be a couple of rumors involving Mackenzie Gore and and C.J. Abrams. Of course, Gore is well considered to be probably our most promising pitcher, though he did have some struggles last year with injury. He has probably the most highest ceiling, and of course, Abrams is I think a very talented shortstop. Has speed, has a little bit of power, and we both been saying that they need to extend somebody, right?
Yes.
They need to extend Abrams. He's probably the easier ones to extend, but apparently, sorry, I stuck in my throat. The the front office is actually looking at possible trade talks, or that the National looking to move these guys. What are
Oh.
your thoughts about this?
I think it comes down to what the front office is thinking. Is the front office looking at the roster and the organization, like the development phase of the organization, and saying, we are nowhere close to competing, that we will not be able to compete anytime soon. They're looking at it and saying, how close are we to competing? And if they're thinking we're
Right.
nowhere near close, you might as well go ahead and flip these guys and
Exactly.
get more help for the minors. But if they're looking at it and saying, well, we might be able to compete in a year or two, then you might want to look at extending them. But either way, unless you're a winning franchise, with are close to competing, every player should be on the trade block. You should be listening to every offer. I
Right.
mean, you don't mean you have to accept the offer,
Of
but
course. Of course.
if someone's going to throw a huge deal at you, and the player's going to leave, like I was upset about Juan Soto leaving.
Oh yeah, I was too. But I knew that when again, it goes back to the learner's idea of extending players. They're real estate people, so they don't
Yes,
see the value of why would I play a player $600 million? It's a lot of money, yes, but in baseball, you have to pay for talent. You have to.
yes,
You have to. And if you don't pay top dollar for those big names, you're not going to land them. And
exactly.
one quick point. The Mariners recently signed, I think, Josh Naylor to a 5-year, $90 million deal. Did you know the Pirates were in on him?
Who?
The Pirates.
The Pirates? No, I did not.
Yes, the Pirates offered like 70 million to him. Now, that's the Pirates we're talking about. The Pirates have historically been the lowest payroll in baseball. That with the A's and a few other teams, the very bottom, right? And you have the Pirates. The Pirates even have offered Schwarber a contract.
Mm.
Now, granted, I don't think he's going to take. I think he'll go for big money, but
Mm.
Obviously, he was runner-up an MVP after a huge year. But the fact of the matter is that we don't. The Pirates could outspend us, Jason, which it scares me. That
Well, the
worries me.
Pirates have a good young team too.
Right, right, and that's the Nats. Like we have the thing is we have good young players, but most of them are at the big leagues now, or they're about to get
Yes.
the big leagues. We have House. I think should be ready this year. Woods is obviously there. Lyle and I'll get on Lyle later in the video because I'm kind of annoyed with the league about Lyle and how they
Yeah.
treat him. Um, we have all these young guys, Abrams and Gore. We got Lord. But the problem is those bright spots don't have a supporting cast
Yeah.
and we don't have enough depth right now. So, to your point, maybe going out and trading these guys could get us more overall depth in the future.
Yes.
So,
But
and go ahead.
I was going to say, like, we have all these prospects, and again, it goes back to what we're talking about development. We weren't letting these prospects play constantly.
Yeah.
You kept giving Josh Bell at bats.
Right, right. And when he started hitting once it didn't matter anymore. Once it didn't
Yeah,
matter. And then we didn't trade him.
exactly. And I mean, this whole time you could have kept Woods and the other outfielders because how many outfield prospects do we have right now?
Well, I think most of them are called up at this point.
That's what I'm saying. There's like 4 or 5 on the roster right now.
Right, exactly. And I think this year you play these guys, you play them and see what happens. Um, but it's a good question. I mean, obviously, I guess I could see them fielding offers for Gore and Abrams, but I think
Yes.
we need a first baseman. I think we need a catcher, and we need some more pitching. And the question is the front office going to spend to make that happen? And if they're not, then you might. I can see them moving these guys. Though, but as a Nats fan, I get tired of this constant circle. We get good players, we can extend them, but we don't. We can
No.
extend them. We can extend them for a decent rate early on, but we don't.
And
And
I don't think we're
by
going to do
this, too
anything until we
late.
get over the contracts. I'm sorry.
Right.
Get out from under the contracts of Scherzer and Strasburg.
Yeah. Exactly. I think Strasburg ends pretty soon because he was like a 7-year deal. I think after this year he comes off. Um, and Scherzer, I think, has another couple years left. But again, I mean, but yeah, I see your point there. We still have to try to do something. Last year we did a little bit to address the issues, but it was like checklist stuff, bare minimal stuff, and for the most
Exactly.
part, they didn't really do much of anything. So
We get our free agents from Timu.
it's an MLB team move pipeline. That's where we get it from. That's right. um, but yeah. So again, I'm a little frustrated with this. I was hoping with Taboni, he might be able to make some moves. But and this is not exactly an exact comparison. But when the Cubs got Theo Epstein, he got a lot of
Hmm.
grief. He got a lot of grief for tearing down the team, thinking, "Well, look, we can't do it right now. Let's just tear it down and rebuild it." And
Yes.
that worked. That worked. Now, is Taboni Theo Epstein? I don't know that yet. But at the same time, it's also like, I mean, I can see that maybe he just wants to start over. Start from scratch, get a clean slate, and just develop from the way what he wants to do.
Well, remember Rizzo kind of did the same thing after the Jim Bowden era.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And we got a World Series out of it in 2019. So I
Yeah.
mean, so I guess you got to look at. I mean, it'd be nice if we were kind of like the Marlins franchise. Win a World Series, don't win for a while, then get a World Series.
Yeah.
I can at least
Well,
tolerate that. I can
well,
say, oh, what about 2 years away from World Series?
yeah. Well, the organization needs to pick a plan and stick to the plan long term. Again,
Mm-hmm.
going back to Jim Bowden, the main thing he was doing was he kept rotating between, wanting to develop a farm system and then wanting to build a team through free agency.
Right. Look,
It's
yeah.
pick one or the other.
I mean, we're not all the Dodgers have everything. Dodgers have free agency and development. They have everything, but they have unlimited
Well,
money, so it doesn't matter.
they're also in like the second largest market in the country,
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're different.
and they have one of the richest ownership groups.
Yeah. Right. So, but they're willing to spend to make it happen. The
Yeah.
learners aren't poor. They're not
No,
poor.
no, but
So,
we don't have a big, TV contract. We don't have a worldwide fan base because I mean, if you go to Japan and you talk about baseball in America, they know the Dodgers.
Dodgers, Yankees, all their players go there.
Yeah,
They all post and go there.
but then again, that's because they spend money too. So
That's true. Exactly. The whole posting system, though I think they've changed it some of the years. The posting, the bonus offers to the teams aren't as high as they were. But
mm,
um, all right, so we'll see what happens with Gore and Abrams. Again, if they're moved, guys, hope we get something good for them. I mean, there's not much we can do about it right now, but we hope we can get something good for them. And last thing I do want to hit in this video, Jason, this is me just venting a little bit right now. This is a David venting session right now. Rookie of the Year snub. Now, in general, I understand Nationals players don't get the consideration that other players do. But I looked at the Rookie of the Year ballot. First of all, Law ended up finished fifth in the Rookie of the Year. Ended up finishing fifth in that category. So he was definitely in the running. But of course, the winner ended up being a Brave, which is Drake Baldwin. I looked at his numbers as a catcher. Had a pretty good rookie season, right? Um,
mhm.
but look at all the other offensive players. The runner-up was Cole Hauser, starter for the Cubs, which actually makes sense. I get that one because he was pretty good in the mound. I also think he should have won personally. But I think Lyle could have been up there for second easily because his numbers, um, actual numbers, advanced metrics were about as good as the other guys. And they had two Brewers who were 3-4, and I thought he had a better season than they did. So I'm kind of bitching about this right now because I really felt he should have done a lot better in voting.
It's the bias for winning.
Yeah,
If you play for a crap team, you're assumed to be a crap player.
which is obviously not true. But
No, no. And then you have the popularity contest mixed into it. And, the Braves are just a very popular team.
yeah, they are, and they also have the culture of developing players, which is
Exactly.
justified. They have a culture in their throughout their organization. It starts from the ground up. They're loyal. They stay with the team, and they
Hmm.
develop these guys very well. So again, they have that reputation. Dodgers have that reputation as well. So I just think it's frustrating. The only other player we had considered for a war, I think James Wood was good for a Silver Slugger, and our center fielder was considered for a Gold Glove, and of course they didn't win. But I'm not shocked. We just don't win anything like that. And if you have someone on another team with comparable numbers, they probably win. So
Yeah.
I just think it's BS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you go back to like when Bryce Harper was with the team,
Mm-hmm.
he had that name recognition. So, he, honestly, when he was with the Nationals, I always felt he was a little bit overrated.
Right, because he was the next thing. He was like the next Jordan of baseball. He was the phenom.
Yeah. And, he was good, but he just wasn't, like the next coming.
Yeah, and then once he got those MVP caliber numbers, he of course left he left and went to the Phillies, and
Yeah.
he's actually had a pretty good career in Philadelphia. He's had some
Yeah.
injury problems, but he's had a pretty good career there. He's done a very
Yeah.
good job there.
But
Um,
early in his career, he was getting, accolades that, I don't really think he deserved.
right, I remember the whole debate between him versus Trout, and I thought Trout was winning for a long time. Trout was
Yeah.
winning. Now, the last several years, Trout, of course, has had injury issues, and I feel bad for the guy because he's stuck with the Angels. He's never going to make the playoffs this rate. But
No. And, you know, basically two teams you want to go to like career ending injuries, the Angels and the Mets.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's true. They'll pay you. um, but
Yeah. And then you get
yeah,
hurt.
no, you don't want to get hurt though. You don't think, um, but yeah, I mean that's me venting about the awards. Anything you want to add, Jason? Whether it's national news, baseball awards, anything like that you want to add?
Nothing nice.
Well, that doesn't mean you shouldn't add it.
Okay, I'll just do this. Expletive: the Dodgers.
Oh yeah, Otani. I get it. I get it. It's a sidebar here. This is actually not Nationals news, but a little sidebar. We do this with for those who are new. We do this with each show anyway. We have like one other issue baseball we kind of discuss for a couple minutes before we wrap up. We might as well make it Otani and the MVP races. Um, I mean, Otani. He's a two-way player. He's a freak of nature, right? Baseball wise, and if he's healthy and plays on both sides of the ball every year, he's always going to win. I mean, he is the most valuable player because he does the most things. Whether you
Mm-hmm.
like it may drive you nuts, but it's hard to go against. I think I put something on X saying that Kyle Schwarber had a career year in the wrong league. Right? If
Mm-hmm.
he had been in the American League, he would have won MVP. He would have won.
Yeah.
He would have beat Judge. He would have beat Cal Raleigh. And again, Raleigh again hit 60 home runs as a catcher, switched to catcher, and finished behind Aaron Judge. And the sad part is that's not entirely wrong. Judge had a very great year, so
Oh,
it was some of these races were hard, you know.
yeah. My thing about Otani is he's showing the league that pitchers are capable of hitting if they work at hitting.
Mm-hmm. I
And
mean,
screw the DH. Let pitchers hit.
I mean, again, even it's been a couple of years now, and again, most pitchers can't hit for shit. So I get why they have a DH, but again, you can always opt out of the DH. And some people have a certain pitchers they do it, like the Giants did with Bumgarner when he was playing.
Yeah,
And whenever they had interleague games, he hit because he was such a good hitter.
but they just don't let pitchers hit. It's like once they get into the minors, it's like, yeah, don't worry about hitting. Just practice bunting and
Right, and you kind of see that though because you want them to get back, you want them to get guys out. Yeah, that's what you want. Uh, excuse me. So you want them to get guys out, and Tony's a freak of nature. I mean, he does it. It makes it look effortless. It's ridiculous. So unfortunately, the MVPs. They Barry Bonds has 7 MVPs. He could get that and then some more because he's
yeah.
still pretty young, which is a scary thought. He's this good this young. That's amazing to me. It's crazy.
Hmm.
But and of course he's on the freaking Dodgers. But anyway, um, all right, that's about all I got for this one. This has been the Nats baseball review. As always, thank you for watching. If you like this kind of you're a Nationals fan, you want to stay on top of what's going on Nationals opinions, things like that, subscribe, notification bell, be a part of the channel. Thanks for coming on, Jason.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody have a good one, and we'll talk to you later.